Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hybrid Ministry Show. As always, I am your host, Nick Clayson, pumped and jacked and thrilled and excited to be with you. Hey, welcome, you're in my office. And in this episode, we're going to be doing something quite a bit different. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving a tutorial from start to finish on how I edit one of our teaching videos. So I've told you before, we do talking head teaching style videos. So I'm going to show you what I do in Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere Pro, and maybe After Effects. It just depends, probably not. And so I want to give you kind of a run-through tutorial crash course on how I do what I do, as well as just let this be a training kind of video that lives in perpetuity on Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere Pro. So let's go ahead and let's dive in and get this thing started. I'm going to be sharing with you my screen. I'm also going to be sharing my video, just like of me talking. If you're listening to this, it may get a little technical and it may be a little bit hard to follow. So just know that the entire episode is on YouTube with a video tutorial, and so you may listen to this but go back to YouTube for actual reference of it. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Hey, before we dive in, why don't you go check out YouTube, check out TikTok, check out Instagram, and link in the show notes for transcripts, as well as a link to my 100% completely free ebook, How to Make a TikTok from Start to Finish. Now, without any further ado, let's dive in. All right, so what you're seeing here is an Adobe Premiere Pro file that I just edited. I'm going to start from scratch. So we are in Start the Party, week 3. I already got this thing started a little bit, and so I'm going to take you into my started project. But if I hadn't, this is my original footage. This is my original footage, and these are my original audio files. Just drop those in. I had 2 audio files because we were using 2 microphone sources to get it going. I ran those together, and then I just rendered it out as a singular one, which is this one right here. So that's basically where we are, and I think the only other thing I did was make cuts, which I'll show you how I do all that stuff anyway. So let's make sure this gets saved in the right spot. So we're going to save it in Share Drive, FC Students. This is just my folder structure and my shared folder structure. Messages are in social media, messages, the year, the number of the series. This is week 3, and so we're just going to call this STP, so Start the Party 3_2. Oh man, and all this stuff got lost. I think this might be from an old file that was stuck in there. I'm going to link it anyway though. So it's in Google Drive, Shared Drive, and it looks like most of that stuff was in Camp. Let's see if I can search it in here. Found that. Wait. I need to do these. So I need to do I need to go here. All right, now let's try it. Do those. So I'm going to go to Google Drive, Share Drive, Trips, Camp. Okay. I found a bunch of them, and then those are downloads, so those are going to be gone, and that's okay. I don't need those because those are other things. This one right here is in a local file that I use, like personal stuff, and I've been moving things around because I just lost a bunch of data. So it's in here. It's in here. This admin, social, not that one. There we go. Search. Okay, there's that. And then this hex C. is in this shared drive of marketing. Where is it? Marketing. Branding. No, it's in marketing. Where's the marketing folder? Why is it gone? Starts with an M. That's okay. I don't think I need it. So offline. Okay. All right. There we go. Sorry for that. So here, yeah. So I got this thing started. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can get invited to every single party ever. All right. So that's that. And then I'm going to take you over here to Photoshop, which is where I'm going to get some things going. This is a template, so I've used this before for other videos. So I kind of build out the template. So let me show you what I've done in the past. So this is my Bible verse template, and then this is my like anything else template that I've been using for this series. So if you hit Command minus, that'll zoom you out in Photoshop. Command plus will zoom you in. Those things just help you see the things a little bit better. If I'm over here on the left-hand side, I'm using the selection tool, so I can select certain layers that are already created. So I'm selecting this font right here, this right here, but I don't have that font right now. So what I actually need to do is I actually need to go install it. I have them all backed up. I just switched to like a new computer, and so that's why like nothing is in here. Fonts. Okay, so I'm going to open my font book, and I'm just going to drop over here off screen all these Gotham fonts that I need. I hope, did that work? I don't know. Let's search. Nope. Oh, there we go. Keep both. I think that should. Yeah, there we go. Now it's in there. Okay, so you'll see right here. Now they're all in there. So back over here, we're just going to cancel because now it should read it. Yeah. So if I'm over here on the left, I can grab the entire font. Like if I pick the top selection tool here, I can grab the entire font block thing and move it all the way around. If I go down here to text, I can edit the text. And so I'm going to have different verses and stuff like that. If I go over here, I can edit that text, right? But if I want to move the whole thing, I can move the whole thing. So back over here in Adobe Premiere Pro, I got this. It goes straight on into the title sequence there. So I'm going to take you here. Nobody ever likes to be the person left out. All right, so let's see what we got. One time, I moved away from a church that I used to work. So all these photos are old photos that I drummed up from before. So let's see where this video has us right now. In the fall, we went to a camp called Camp Tecumseh in Brookston, Indiana. And we called the retreat the Recharge Retreat. All right, so in Adobe Premiere Pro, if you click the space bar, that's your keyboard shortcut for play. You can move this around here in the sequence to go to different spots. On your keyboard, if you look at the J, K, L, and I, it's sort of in the shape of arrows. And so J, K, L, I. J is back, K is down, I is up, L is forward. One of my favorite hacks for that is once you get it playing, you can click L, and it'll make it go quicker. You can hit J, and it'll make it go backwards. You can also hit the arrow button to go frame by frame. So right, left. So that's how I go real slow. So that being said, if I want to do any sort of overlay videos, which I'm going to, like you see right here, I did these photos, I overlaid them. I also have presets that have them come in. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll drop the link. But I'm first going to make a note to myself so that I don't forget to do it. But I'm going to drop the link to the presets in the show notes. So that's not the right thing. I need to do 053 Adobe. There it is. New. This is just so I don't forget about you guys. Presets. So in Adobe Premiere Pro, there's little motion presets you can use. I use one pack. There's like 50 of them. They look like this: position in, position out, rotate in, scale in, scale out. I use those pretty much all the time, and I'll often pair those with like an audio. So if you see right here, as this one comes in, it's got a little audio down here on this audio track. So you got audio track 1, audio track 2, audio track 3. You got video track 1, video track 2, video track 3. And you can do an unlimited amount up in video and an unlimited amount down in audio. So as I play it, got that little whoosh sound coming in. I didn't do that for the rest of them because I didn't want it to be distracting. So they're just coming in one by one as I'm explaining this story. And then here, this cut, I cut it with the razor tool over here. Also shortcut, keyboard shortcut C, we'll switch it to the razor tool. And then V, we'll switch it back to this selection tool. And so then once I click V, I just drag the thing I want to do, position out, just drag it onto there. And then it rotates out, or not rotate, but moves out. So back to editing. Now that you've gotten that little quick overview, let's edit.
Fall, we went to a camp called Camp Tecumseh in Brixton, Indiana. And we
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
called the retreat, the recharge retreat. And it was awesome. And so I leave that church, I move on to another one, and that same weekend, we're not in the same place. And because I follow both my old church and my buddy's church on Instagram, I see that they're both on a retreat. I was like, that's interesting. Both that church and this church are both on a retreat together. But on the same weekend. That's interesting. Wait, in Brixton, Indiana? Hold on. They're together? What I began to notice was that these two churches came together, and instead of calling it the recharge retreat, they call it a lifeline retreat or something like that. I don't remember. But I felt so left out. There I was, sitting at home, thinking, that used to be me. I used to be the one there. And now I'm home with my kids, with my new church, and the vibes aren't there. And I felt incredibly left out. When it comes to a party, I often feel like very cut and dry, very binary, right? Like there are insiders.
All right, I'm going to cut that. I don't like what I said there, so I'm going to see if I can cut around that.
Very cut and dry to a party.
So I don't need that much space there. So when it comes to a party, so I hit C to cut it, V to select it, and I'm just going to hit the backspace button, and now it's gone. I'm going to drag this in so it's next to it.
Feel like very cut and often feel like
when it comes to a party, it can often feel like
very cut and dry, very binary.
Let's see if I can get all that out of there. So I'm just going to drag this over, so C to V. Let's see how it plays.
Often feel like, right? Like there are insiders.
I'm just going to do, feels like there's insiders. So drag, drag, drag.
Often feel like insiders, and there are outsiders.
So
like inside.
I need to get this to zoom in. So what I'm doing when my cuts, I zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. So if you see that, if you're watching on YouTube, this right here, I click on it up here in the effects controls under motion. I have my position, and it's scaled at 128. So when I'm here, this is at 110. So this cut here needs to go to 128. Just type that in, hit enter, and now I have those cuts.
Like insiders, and there are outsiders.
And that just took care of that cut right there. Now, because I did all that, I got all this stuff back here that is cropped out. So I need to connect it. There you go, it's connected.
Today, one of Jesus' friends, a guy named Matthew, recorded this story out of the life of Jesus. And here's what it says.
All right, so now I'm going to do a Bible verse. So I have this stored somewhere. I think it's in curriculum. Yeah, for me. Is that Darren's? That might be Darren's. I just need to figure out the verse reference. I'm going to figure out the verse reference. I'm going to go put it into Photoshop. So Thank you. I just got a new computer, so everything's brand new. Yeah, that's Darren. So I need to figure out mine. I think mine actually might be my own personal Google Drive. So I'm going to search start. Yeah, it's there. So start the party. 3. There it is. Matthew 9:10 in the NLT. So I'm going to go to BibleGateway.com. I'm going to switch it to NLT so that what I say version-wise matches what is on screen. And now as I go back over here.
One of Jesus' friends, a guy named Matthew, recorded this story out of the life of Jesus. And here's what it says. It says, later, Matthew invited Jesus.
Okay, so I'm going to go here into Photoshop, click my text tool. Command A highlights that all. Command V pastes it. I want to make it all caps like I had before. We're going to keep it uniform as best I can remember. I just changed it down to 100. And then I'm in Matthew 9:10. So now I'm going to hit Command-Shift-Save. And that saves the full Photoshop file. So then I'm here in my, social media messages 2023, 06, 03. So in the 03 folder, this is message number 3. I'm going to click New Folder, PSD. And then I'm going to save it as 001 verse so that I know that file 001 is a verse. Save. So now it's saved as a Photoshop file. So this is why I like Adobe Premiere Pro, because of its integration with Photoshop. So back over here in my actual Finder, I'm going to navigate to the folder I just saved that to. PSD. 001 verse. I'm going to drag the entire file here into the project bin on this left-hand side, drop it in, and I have 4 options. I can merge all layers, merge layers, individual layers, or sequence. I'm going to do individual layers, and now it'll drop this folder, and now I got every individual layer that I had in Photoshop. Now, I'm not going to use all of them, but I am going to animate them. And I want to show you what I did in previous videos. So if you go back to the first video in this series, it's going to take a second to come in from Google Drive downloading. But I'm gonna look at what I did for myself to remember how I animated everything, so that I can be consistent all the way across all these videos. You don't have to do that. I like to do that for every series. I like to have like the same animations, so that it has like uniform same backing track, which out here I found this file on Motion Array as my song for the background. So I have this right here. This audio layer is my my speaking audio layer. This layer down here is my audio backing track, all music. So anyway, you know what? This might not open in QuickTime because I'm already using QuickTime. You know what? It's on YouTube, so let's go check it out. So we're gonna go to YouTube. Cross Creek students. Let's see. Videos. Here it is.
People seem so full of life, and others seem helps you celebrate the value of others. And
so as I scroll through here, I'm just scrubbing through to find the text. Here it is. So if you'll notice, I made a cut, and the verse.
Because he said it in his own words.
So the verse in this little banner thing with the Hello Summer, it's all already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this Roberto Nixon. That's the background. But let's see. Remind myself what I did over here. I had Rectangle 2 as like a backdrop to make it blacker. So go to Rectangle 2. So put those together. So this is as the layers build up, bottom, top. So there's my 2 backgrounds. If I just hold the mouse down, highlight them both, then I can move them both longer in the sequence. So So there's the background. Let's see. This right here is titled Rectangle 1. So I'm going to go back over here and grab Rectangle 1, put it right there in line with it, and drag it there to go the whole distance. Then I'm going to get my verse reference, Matthew 9:10, put it there. And then I'm missing that little Hello Summer icon that I made. So I'm going to click on that. And it's called Hello Color Official Colors. So go to Hello Color, pull that right here, and boom. And it's covering up Matthew, so I'm just going to change the order there. Pull Hello Color. Make Hello Color be below Matthew, so there. Okay, so now all my things are in. So right here on this cut,
Today, one of Jesus' friends, a guy named Matthew.
now I don't say it yet, so what I did was I held down shift and clicked them all to highlight them. I'm just going to move it.
Recorded this story out of the life of Jesus. And here's what it says.
So when I say here's what it, I'm going to go right here where here's what it says. So I hit C, I got my razor tool, I cut the thing there. Now I'm hitting V to go back to my selection tool, and I'm just going to highlight all these layers, bring them back over. So now it's there. So then I need to bring in the actual text, which I believe starts with later Matthew. So I'm going to listen to it and line it up when it comes in. So
And here's what it says.
right there, later Matthew, boom. I'm going to have that position in. Let me go back and see what I did over here. It looks like it was a smooth transition, and I just know that, yeah, I just know that from experience of what these different ones look like. So I'm going over here, position in, smooth, left, okay? That came from a file. The sound came from a file. Over here under social media, nope, it came under my drive. Social. This is my old church, Parkview. See if it's gonna. There it is. Sound effects. I've been transferring a lot of data, so it may not be all in here. So let's see if I can go. Let's see if it's in actual Google Drive. So I'm going to switch to my work profile, share drive. No, it's in my drive. Passport. Social. It's called SFX. There it is. So I'm going to download that sucker. So now it's in my downloads folder. I'm going to take it out of there and I'm going to bring it here. So that's all in the same spot. And then I'm going to make sure as I go into Adobe Premiere Pro, I'm going to pull it from that same folder so that when it tries to open it later, it knows where it was. So I drop it in my thing. And now if I double tap on this sound, it's going to pull it up here in this source tab up here at the top. Okay, so there's all these different sounds. Ready? Like, so I'm just gonna find one that I like. That one sounds kind of weird. That one's good. So I'm gonna take this bar down here and I'm gonna shrink it so that I can get a closer view of it. So if I hit I, that stands for in, and then if I toggle the bar right here, right past it, and click O, then I can choose to grab either the video or the audio. I don't have a video, so it's only audio. So I'm going to drag the audio in here, and I'm going to line it up. And then what I like to do, again, I'm going to drag this little bar so I can zoom in a little bit. I like to get it right. You see where it's just barely on the screen. I like to match my audio up there. So now,
This is later.
also I'm going to right click on this audio, or control click, or whatever, two fingers click maybe, and I'm gonna adjust the audio gain by 10 so it's a little louder. So let's see how it sounds.
This is later.
Yeah. I'm also going to drag this because it looks like it still needs a little more space to breathe. Yeah. Okay. So
What it says. It says later, Matthew invited Jesus and his disciples to his home.
So this one right here, I'm clicking on this back over here into effects controls. That's at 128. So when this comes out, when I'm done with the verse, I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna cut it down to 110. Remember, I was toggling back and forth between 128 and 110. So
Disreputable sinners. That comes out of Matthew chapter 9, verse 10.
So as I say that, I'm gonna cut right here. And then if I hit C for cut, and if you hold down shift, it will cut everything in that up above and down below. So I'm gonna hit shift, it cut all my layers. Now I'm gonna go back to V, the selection tool. I'm just gonna select them all. So now they're all gone. I click back on the actual video. I need to make that 110. That was my transition. So,
Your tax collectors back in
and now we're rolling with gas.
to be some of the most corrupt and frustrating people around. These aren't the kind of people that anyone thought Jesus would be like. Sitting down, sharing a meal with. So here's what I want to know.
So I want to comment. We're going to be playing this in our live room, and I'm also going to post it on YouTube. So I'm going to put this comment below thing right where I call for it.
Comment below, or if it,
So that was 110. I just noticed this is 110. This video here needs to be 128.
anyone thought Jesus would be like. Sitting down, sharing a meal with. So here's what I want to know.
So I'm going to cut here because I had it cascading before, but I'm making some adjustments. So I need to make sure that I don't get myself out of order. I'm just going to have to go like 128, 110 all the way through and change it. So if I switch back to, if I do a 110, I switch back to 128, then down the road where I have a 110, it's going to stay in my order.
Comment below, or if you're watching this live in the room at the table around you, I want to ask you this question. Does it surprise you to know that Jesus shared a meal with people that are considered out?
So I'm going to put this question on the screen. I'm going to look back. I saw that I had another question on the screen thing. So this is Darren. Let's see how I got that question in there.
It's just about following a set of rules. Talking about it like a party is sometimes.
All right, so that is, I know that just again from memory. I know that's Babus New. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do File, New. Pixels is 1920 by 1080. Resolution is 72. Create. All right, I'm going to command minus out. I'm going to put a text in there. And then the question is, does it surprise you to know that Jesus spent time with these types of people? Or something like that. Command A highlights it all. I'm going to change it to Babus New. Babus New bold. Color is going to be white. I'm going to right click on layer 1, which is the text layer. I must not change my settings yet. So I'm going to go down to drop shadow, and I want to make it a black drop shadow. Give it a little angle here. So like I usually like to go to the left at an angle. It's just personal preference. You can do whatever you want. Changing my size. If you see on the YouTube screen, I'm changing my size down. I'm changing my spread down. I like it a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to put my distance more right behind it. There we go. Again, I'm just kind of doing that by eye and feel. But the more like black it goes in the background, I think the better it looks when it comes in. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to make it center aligned. I'm going to drag this up to right underneath it, and then that way as I pull it down, you'll see right there I got those lines that are giving me, it's telling me it's right in the middle, left and right, and up and down. Okay, I got those lines telling me that. I'm going to delete this background here, and then I'm going to click Command Option Shift W, or File. That's the shortcut for File, Export As. So Command Option Shift W. I'm going to switch it from JPEG to PNG. PNG gives it the transparent background. I'm going to hit Export, and then I'm going to go save it in that same folder. So Share Drive, FC Students, Social Media, Messages, 2023. start the party, number 3. I'm going to put it in this PSD folder, but I'm going to make a PNG folder to not get them confused. I'm going to label it 001 question. Boom, put it in there. And then back over here in Premiere, I'm going to do go into it. Nope, wrong one. 3, PSD, PNG, question. I'm going to drop it into my thing. I'm going to drag it over here. So here's the question.
Comment below, or if you're watching this live in the room at the table around you, I want to ask you this question.
Here's a question. So it's going to come in. I'm going to do position in left. And I'm going to go down here and get that same sound effect. So it's 025 SFX. If you lose it in your bin there, you got this little search thing. So I just know the name of it is SFX. I click on it. I already got these bars from my in, my out. I go my audio here. I drag it here. And I'm just going to make sure that that's all loaded up. I want it. Ooh, I want it there. I'm going to right click that. I'm going to make that 10 again. Audio gain 10. Another way to do that, if I want just the exact same one, is I can go back over here to this one. And if I hit Option while it's highlighted and drag it, it should just duplicate that for me. I don't need that though, so I'm going to delete it. All right, so back to my question.
Table around you, I want to ask you this question. Does it surprise you to know that Jesus shared a meal with people that are considered out?
All right, so I'm going to rephrase that question so it matches. So does it surprise you to know that Jesus, how did I say it? Jesus shared a meal with people who are considered out. I'm going to get rid of the rest of that. All right, so now I'm going to save it again. Again, this is one of my favorite features. I'm just going to save it as, replace, and it should just change it. Look, it just changed it on my screen there. So because I updated it there in Photoshop and changed the file name.
That Jesus shared a meal with people that are considered out in their ancient society. Why or why not? Take a minute.
So now that I have this, I'm actually going to put a little countdown timer on the screen. So in one of my folders here, I have a countdown timer. It's right here. It's called 5 minutes full flat 1. I just know the name of it. It's got an alpha channel on it, so it's right there. I'm going to, I only need the end of it because I'm not going to do a full 5 minutes, right? So I hit C, cut the rest of that, and I'm going to drag that over here. I'm going to put a little drop shadow on it, so I'm just going to search in the effects here for drop shadow, give it some definition. Didn't do much. I'm going to go over here to effects controls. I'm going to find drop shadow. I'm going to move the opacity of the drop shadow from 50 to 100. I'm going to change the distance. There we go. Now it's got some like at 40. Back to effect controls. I'm going to make it smaller. So I'm going to hover over this 100 here for scale and just take it left and go down. And then I'm going to go up here to this position. I'm just going to drag it down right there. So now as I queue up the question, I'm going to first find the end. This is where I end it, right here at this cut. So I'm going to hit C.
So at the time of Jesus, there's a...
So now what I'm going to do is I am going to... This is the end. Okay. So when I queue up the question...
Why or why not? Take a minute.
Oh, so I'm going to cut it. I wonder if that is like past the end of the video or something. Let me see. Or is that hidden? Like, what's going on here? Why is it not showing? I wonder if it's not like fully rendered or something. Hold on. Let me find it. Alright, now that I delete it, let's see if I can find it again over here. It's right here. It just looks like it's like loading it in. So it looks like it's just gonna take a little minute to think it through. I'm gonna drop it back in, drop shadow. Took all that off by messing with it. I'm gonna change the distance to 40. It might just all need to like think. So I'm gonna hit File, Save As, STP32. I'm gonna overwrite it, save, and I am going to take a little break. I'll be right back. Alright, so that didn't do crap. So I'm gonna open that sucker back up. Let's see if I can get it. Alright, that did it. So I just saved it. And then I closed it and I opened it back up. We're good to go. So that's the end of my clip right there. Actually, it's a little bit long, so I'm going to get to the end of my clip right there. I'm going to click on the timer. I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm going to pull it down, and then I'm probably going to animate its entrance. So,
Surprise you to know that Jesus shared a meal with people that are considered out in their ancient society. Why or why not? Take a minute.
So I'm going to put it right here where it starts, but that's only 10 seconds. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to lengthen the time. So I'm going to grab all these right here, and I'm going to move them. And I want to give it closer to like 30 seconds. This is just like as a youth pastor is what I want to do. So I'm going to pull this all the way down. I'm going to pull this all the way down and then back. That puts me at like a minute. So I want it at like 30. So like around, yeah, like around there. So that's where I want it to end. So what I'm going to do here is I hit C for the razor tool. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to change the speed. So I'm going to go to, that was right click. I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to speed and duration right here. And I'm going to make it just 0.1. So it's super duper slow. So that's the video behind me as this question is sitting on screen. So it doesn't matter, honestly, what's happening behind me. And then when that gets down to 0, there, that's the end of it. I'm going to pull, so I'm going to zoom out so I can see all this. I'm going to pull all these back in so it's right next to it. Boom. Actually, it needs to go there. I can drag that one to close the gap. And then I just need to animate the entrance. So I'm just going to do motion in, position in, smooth, bottom of my countdown timer. Now I'm coming back over here.
So at the time of Jesus, there's a group of religious leaders. They were called the Pharisees. And they had a real problem with this dinner party that we see Jesus at. So it says, when the Pharisees saw...
All right, so I need the verse for what I'm about to say. This is my show notes, so I don't forget what it is. This is my... All right, so Matthew 9:11, so it's in this same thing here. It's just literally one verse later. So we're going to copy this. I don't want to get that little A right there from Bible Gateway. All right, so I'm in this tab here in Photoshop. I'm going to go back to this tab. Not that one. Not that one. Where is it? There's my verse. All right. Hit the text. Command A to highlight. Command V to copy. And then if I highlight it all and hit Command Shift and then the period sign, or like it looks like a greater than symbol, I can increase the size slowly. So I'm going to do that. I am going to change that from Matthew 9:10 to Matthew 9:11. Command Shift S for save. O2 verse right there. And now I'm drag that whole file back in. So get back over to it, drag it in, individual layers, boom. Now, here's the good news, which is a super cool fun hack. That needs to be all the way. This, so I'm hitting Shift to highlight all of these bad boys. I'm replicating, right? I'm using the exact same thing, so I don't have to import all of those. So I'm just gonna hit Option and drag them over here. And now I have this identical thing. I don't have to redo that. So now all I need is to get Matthew 9:11 right there, the new verse, and then I just need to animate in the text. So back over here.
Jesus, there's a group of religious leaders. They were called the Pharisees. And they had a real problem with this dinner party that we see Jesus at. So it says, when the Pharisees...
So we're going to do it right there. And then we're going to bring in, but when.
So it says, when the Pharisees...
Right there. I'm going to drag that to the end. Position in left. And then I need that SFX sounder. Click on here. Get that. Bring it here. Zoom in. I'm just hitting arrow over. That's where I want my sound effect to start. I need to make that up to 10. All right, here we go.
So it says, when the Pharisees saw this, the fact that Jesus was there with the sinners and the outcasts, they said, why does your teacher eat with such scum? They asked Jesus' disciples this question. You see, the Pharisees... Jesus' disciples this question.
I think that's where I'm going to end it. So remember, C, Shift C, boom. Back to V. I can erase all those. So this was at 128. It'll come back to here at 110.
Good question. You see, the Pharisees were purposefully keeping others on the outside. They were judging them and questioning Jesus and his friends for not keeping on the outside.
That is too long of a gap. I don't like that, so I'm going to cut right here, drag this, and then make this 128. So now...
Check out what Jesus said in response to them. I love it. He says...
All right, so we're doing another verse. I'm going to assume it's the next verse. Yeah, actually it's 12 and 13. So I'm going to get both of those. 12 through 13. Copy. Paste. Oh, that not copy? I must not have hit copy, Command C. Paste, Command V. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Remember, Command Shift, less than sign. I want this little A bad boy out of there. Space there. I'm going to give it a little more space to breathe because it is small. However, let me make sure I don't, how I read it.
Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. So let me ask you. Now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices. For I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners.
All right, so yeah, I did do the whole verse. So Command Shift S, we're going to make it 03 verse. Back over here in Premiere, I'm going to clear that search so that I can find it. Verse 3, we're making it individual layers. Boom. All right, so I need all of these backgrounds again. Option, so I'm going to go here where it starts.
Check out what Jesus.
So we're going to make it right there when I say checkout. I just need Matthew 9. Oh, did I not change it? Nope, I didn't change it. So I need to make it 12 through 13. Just a little smaller. I'm going to write it over. So now that same layer in Adobe Premiere Pro will be updated with the new text. So it's all there.
Check out what Jesus said in response to them. I love it. He says,
all right, so I need this verse. I need to put it right here. Position in left. And then I need that SFX. Actually, I'm not going to get it that way. I'm going to go here, highlight it, option, drag it over. I make sure that whenever I do that, I always make sure. Sometimes it doesn't work, but so I want to make sure I didn't just move it, but I actually copied it. So I want to make sure they're both still there. They are. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to get when this starts coming in right there. That was already pretty close, but just a little over.
healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. So then he added, now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy.
So it's not long enough. So I'm going to highlight all these and I'm going to drag it.
Offer sacrifices. For I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners.
That's where I'm going to end it. I'm going to shift. Remember C to get the razor tool. Shift V, delete them all. And that gives me this new cut on my video timeline as well. So if that was 128, this can be 110 as I zoom back out.
Who know they are sinners. That comes from Matthew 9, 12 through 13.
I don't need that. So I'm going to V, cut that, C, then V.
See, Jesus came to care for those who needed him the most. He came to show grace and love and mercy to the sinners, the tax collectors, and anyone else who has ever been cast out of the world. So
That was a big gap.
So what does it look like to show mercy in today's world? Well, for starters, it's letting people know that they belong, that they can have a seat at your table.
So I like that quote. So I am going to, it's letting people know that they belong, that they have a seat at your table. Just to make sure I got that quote right. Let's hear it again.
Well, for starters, it's letting people know that they belong, that they can have a seat at your table. You know, when you think about your life, right? Like, I want you.
So I'm going to do Command Option Shift W because I'm exporting. I'm not saving. I'm going to make it a PNG. I am not saving the source files of these. I probably should, but I'm not because I could recreate them pretty fast. And so it's just saving me a step because I would save it as a PSD, then I would save it as a PNG as well. And that's just 2 steps. I'm just trying to cut that down. So I'm going to have that come in there. And then I need to drag into this gap right here. I want it positioning in left.
You know, when you think about your life, right? Like, I want you.
Actually, it's over here.
Well, for
Make it smaller. I got a pretty big
starters, it's
gap there as well. So I'm going to pull that SFX sounder option. Yup.
letting people know that they belong, that they can have a seat at your table. You know, when you think about your life, right? Like, I want you to be honest. You probably hang out with people that you're most comfortable with. Your table might look like a table full of athletes, or your table might be a table full of kids in theater, or your table might be a table full of just kids in your neighborhood that you hang out with. Here's my question. Since your table is often very similar, what if rather than having everybody with the same label sitting at all of your seats of your table, what if you chose to mix it up a little bit? You have one with this label, one with that label, one with this label, one. What would that look like? Like, think about it. What if you chose to invite people?
So I'm just going to add this here because I felt like it was going a while without anything on the screen. And I like that question. So I'm going to make that 003 question. And let's see where I start talking about it.
Full of athletes. Or your table might be a table full of kids in theater. Or your table might be a table full of just kids in your neighborhood that you hang out with. Here's my question. Since your table is often very similar, what?
Right there, what? So I'm going to do position and left. I'm going to go get this sounder again. Bring it right here. See those little arrows? That gives me the indication that's lined up with my text up there. So I'm going to let it go. Zoom back in.
Similar. What if rather than having everybody with the same label sitting at all of your seats of your table, what if you chose to mix it up a little bit? We have one with it.
I might actually move it. So I'm going to hit that and then shift so I can move both of them over.
What if you chose to mix it up a little bit? We have one with this label, one with that label, one with this label.
I'm going faster now, hitting L.
What if you chose to invite people who come from significantly different socioeconomic backgrounds? What would it look like if you chose to invest in different kinds of shows or forms of entertainment? What would it look like if you chose to invite people who are into different shows or forms of entertainment? You know, like kids who are maybe into anime.
Is that the same thing?
What would it look like if you chose to invest in different kinds of shows or forms of entertainment?
Yeah, I said that wrong.
Economic backgrounds. What would it look like sitting at all of your seats of your table? What if you chose to mix it up a little bit? We have one with this label, one with that label, one with this label. What would that look like? Like, think about it. What if you chose to invite people who come from significantly different socioeconomic backgrounds? What would it look like if you chose to invite people who are into different shows or forms of entertainment? You know, like kids who are maybe into anime or The Bachelorette or The Kardashians. What if you asked someone who is a gamer? Because you typically despise gamers and you're an athlete. Or maybe, what if you're a Christian and you tend to avoid people who believe differently than you? What if you invited someone with a different faith system to your team? Remember this, a party starter knows that everyone is invited. So how do you get invited?
Just gotta alternate these for the zoom back and forth on my cuts.
Be like Jesus. Be the person willing to invite somebody new.
No, I don't mind alternating these now because I only got a few. I'm at the finish line, people.
Be like Jesus. Be the person willing to invite somebody new to your team. You see, we want as church and cross-country students to be a student ministry where it's a safe place, where you can show up just as you are. Find yourself surrounded by people who want to make sure and know that you are invited. So I want you to ask this question and kick it around even a little bit more in your country. Who's one person that I want to make sure feels in or invited to the party with me this week?
Okay, I'm gonna add that. Who is one person who you want, who Command Option Shift W PNG 004 question. Back over here, go find it.
Who's one person that
I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to get this sounder. Bring it over. Animate it, position and left.
one person that I want to make sure feels in or invited to the party with me this week?
So I gotta extend that sound. I also want it to, so it's called exponential fade. That's where it like fades out slowly. So drag it there on the end. And then we also have a, here in the messages, admin folder, YouTube button. I have a subscribe thing where I can just highlight our YouTube channel and anyone who's watching to subscribe. So I'm going to drop it in towards the end. I'm going to make it a little smaller and put it in the center middle.
To the party with me this week.
And I'm going to match up the ending audio to go with that. And then that very end, I just need it to, I don't mind if it just stays on there. And I'm going to drag this here. Command Shift S. STP32, we're resaving it. And now if I go up to sequence and I hit Command M, or I just make sure I have the sequence, the blue box around it. This tripped me up one time so bad. File, export, media. We're going to change the location. So we're going to put it in this folder here. New folder 00 final. Start the party week 3. Save, export entire source. There we go. Hey, listen, hope you found this episode helpful. I know it's deep, it's nitty, it's gritty. I'm hoping that can be a tutorial for you. If you've never used Adobe Premiere Pro, this is just watching me edit a video. If you found it helpful, leave a rating, review, like, subscribe, and hey, jump on, grab our free ebook so that you can also learn how to edit on your TikTok. Until next time, peace out. We'll talk to y'all later. Don't forget, stay hybrid.